Abimbola got married to the love of her life, Femi. It was a wonderful wedding. And shortly after the wedding ceremony, Abimbola got pregnant. She was so happy. And everyone could see that she and her husband Femi were so much in love. They went everywhere together, hand in hand. They were so happy. One fateful day, they decided to go shopping to buy their baby things. And while they were driving in the car, singing, talking, laughing, unfortunately, they were involved in a ghastly motor accident and they were rushed to a nearby hospital. Abimbola opened her eyes on the hospital bed and she found out that she was no longer pregnant. When she got to the hospital, they quickly performed an emergency CS and brought out the baby. But unfortunately, the baby couldn't make it. When she asked after her husband too, they gave her the sad news that Femi had passed. Abimbola was devastated. She went back home sad and lonely and cried every day of her life. They could console her. How could this happen to her? Femi was gone. Even her baby that was supposed to be a consolation also did not make it. It was a terrible period for Abimbola. She cried and was almost sinking into depression. One fateful day, she decided to take a walk. As she was strolling on the quiet streets, thinking about her life and what she would do next, she saw a basket in the center of the road. There was a baby inside the basket on a table. At first, she was surprised, but then she decided she took the baby and went home with the baby. As far as she was concerned, this baby is a blessing in disguise. If she is lonely and she has seen a baby who is also lonely, then they will keep themselves company and make themselves happy. And that was the best decision that she ever made. She took the baby home and named her Comfort. And baby Comfort brought her so much joy. But one particular thing that made Abimbola happy was that after she took Comfort home, her life began to change. Her business began to grow. She began to make more money. And even companies that she had sent application letter to for years, they began to send her letters for invitation. Some companies even gave her a job without any interview. Indeed, baby Comfort brought her luck. Finally, she decided to accept one of the jobs because it had international opportunities. And then she thought, who would take care of my baby Comfort? She decided to employ the services of a nanny. So she put up a vacancy for the position of a nanny. And a few days later, a young lady, Sarah, came to apply for the job. After Abimbola interviewed her and did her due diligence, she saw that Sarah was a very good option, or at least so she thought. Sarah took good care of baby Comfort. She would feed her, play with her, dance with her, take her on long walks. Sarah seemed to be the perfect one for that position, and Abimbola's heart was at rest. One day, while Sarah was cleaning Abimbola's room, she stumbled into Abimbola's diary and she read it. There she saw where Abimbola was expressing her joy about how baby Comfort had changed her life. Abimbola wrote that from the day she brought in baby Comfort, her luck had changed. She had made more money, her life has changed, opportunities for and greater connections had opened for her. As soon as Sarah read this, she thought to herself, if Comfort is Abimbola's lucky charm, then she can also be my lucky charm too. After all, I'm even the one taking care of baby Comfort. I feed her, bathe her, clothe her, I do practically everything. So why must Abimbola be the only one enjoying Comfort? Sarah began to plan how she would kidnap baby Comfort and take her away. The next day, she waited for Abimbola to go to work. And when the school bus came to pick Comfort for school, she went and told the driver that Comfort wasn't feeling fine and would not be able to go to school that day. So the driver left. But there was one of their neighbors, Grandma Adesua. She was making a call outside and she saw when Sarah told the school bus to leave. She felt something was fishy, but she still didn't make any move. Not long after, Sarah went inside, packed some bags, and was leaving with Comfort. That was when Grandma Adesua decided to call Abimbola and asked her if they were traveling. Abimbola was shocked and was surprised why Grandma Adesua would ask her if they were traveling. And Grandma Adesua told her it was because she just saw Sarah leaving the house with Comfort and she carried some bags with her. Abimbola pleaded with Grandma Adesua to inform the estate security men not to allow Sarah take her daughter away. Grandma Adesua quickly called the estate security on the intercom in her house and told them to stop Sarah from going anywhere with the child. By the time Sarah got to the gate, there were already 2 policemen waiting. They questioned her where she was taking the daughter to, but she couldn't give them any concrete response. So they held her, and then the estate manager took the baby away, and then the police officers took Sarah to the station for questioning. When they got to the police station and they asked Sarah why she wanted to kidnap Comfort, her response shocked everybody. I wasn't kidnapping Comfort. I was only taking back what rightfully belongs to me. The police officers looked at themselves, and by that time, Abimbola had already gotten to the station. They asked her to explain what she meant by that, and then she began her story. A few years ago, Sarah got pregnant for the man she was dating. This man had promised to marry her, but as soon as she got pregnant, the man denied the pregnancy and disappeared. Sarah eventually gave birth to the baby and had a beautiful baby girl. She started taking care of her baby all by herself. It wasn't exactly easy being a single mother, but she decided to try as best as she could. And then she met a man and fell in love with him, and they started dating. But as soon as the man found out that she had a baby, the man left her. She met another man and another man and yet another man, and they all left her whenever they discovered that she has a child. At this point, Sarah was still hopeful. Then finally, she met Emeka and decided this time around she wasn't going to tell Emeka that she had a child. But one day, Emeka came to the house unannounced and saw her carrying her baby. She had no choice. She had to open up to him and told him that the baby was hers. And as usual, Emeka left and never returned and stopped picking her calls. At this point, Sarah was devastated. She felt that her baby was a hindrance from her. Is this how we stay without getting married? She kept on asking herself. So she decided to visit her mother. Her intention was to drop the baby with her mother so that her mother could help her look after the baby and she could continue with her life. But her mother didn't see that as a good option. My daughter, any man who truly loves you will accept you the way you are and will accept your daughter, was what her mother told her. Hold on, my daughter, be patient. Your own man will come. This baby needs you, her mother, more than she needs me, her grandmother. And don't get me wrong, it is not as if I don't love my granddaughter. I love you, my daughter, and my granddaughter. But please, don't abandon your child because of a man or anybody. That was the advice her mother gave her. But Sarah wasn't satisfied with that advice. She took her baby and decided to go home. On her way home, she kept on thinking of so many things and all the opportunities of getting married that she has missed. And then suddenly, she saw a table in the center of the road. It was still very early in the morning and the shops were still locked. Sarah walked to the table and dropped her baby right in the center of the table and ran to a corner to hide. There she stayed and was waiting for anybody who would come and pick the baby so she would continue with her life. At the corner, it was then she saw when Abimbola walked up to that table and picked baby Comfort. But she kept on trailing Abimbola and she followed Abimbola secretly to her house so she would know where her baby lives at least, or she would know who was taking her baby away. And from then, she kept on coming from time to time to spy to see if her baby was okay. And immediately she saw the vacancy for the position of a nanny, she saw that as a wonderful opportunity, because after so many years, even though her baby was no longer with her, she still wasn't married. So she decided that she would go and be close to her baby at least. That was when she decided to employ for the job of a nanny so she could be close to her baby. And she told them that when she saw that Comfort was the source of her Abimbola's good fortune, she decided to take back what rightfully belongs to her. By the time she finished her story, the police officers sympathized with her, but then they told her that child kidnap and child abandonment were criminal offense and that she would face the wrath of the law. She was charged to court, where she was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. Sarah broke down into tears. She cried, but then she had to pay for her mistakes. Then she went to Abimbola, held her hands and pleaded with Abimbola to continue to take good care of her child. And Abimbola promised her that she would take good care of Comfort. Abimbola went home and continued to live a happy life with her daughter, Comfort, the gift that God gave her to comfort her from all her tears and her pains. The end. Please kindly subscribe to this channel so you can continue to receive interesting stories like this. Thank you.